Very good morning to all of you, to the dentistry group. I think it's a very exciting day ahead of us. And yes, so again, good morning, Juri Geld. I will give a little short introduction. I think most of you have heard already, and then I will hand over to the committee and we can start the complex exam. So, from curiosity to career, from science to society. First of all, I think really this needs to be said, congratulations to all of you. You really achieved something great so far. It's the closing of the second year. All of you, otherwise you wouldn't have been able to be here, have at least one submitted paper to a D1 or Q1 journal, or many of you already accepted or published paper. We will see in a bit. So generally, why are we here? What do we need? Of course, in general, there are healthcare challenges and we need community solutions. There is science and medicine, and it needs to be combined. I think here in Hungary especially, we are very privileged and lucky that we have many great talented youth and also many youth with creative ideas. But what still is in our ideas lacking behind and insufficient is especially healthcare professionals and scientific orientation of the healthcare professional. So with this PhD program, with Center for Translational Medicine, we try to establish more well-rounded physicians and scientists later on for better clinical care. I think also this is very well demonstrated in this slide, which is from the Eurostat data, which shows that in Europe, from patients or people under 75, 1.7 million died, and out of those 1.7 million deaths, 1.2 million could be avoided if the knowledge which is out there in the literature is actually used and channeled back to patients' benefit. So that's also one of the main reasoning points why meta-analysis is absolutely crucially important. As you can see, 1.2 million out of 1.7 could be saved if the knowledge which is there is used. So you may ask, why do we actually need the CTM or translational medicine? This always existed. Yes, you can actually look this up. End of 90s, translational medicine did exist, but in a very different format. Back then, it was a multiphasic model. We started in basic science and it continued, and it can take up to decades, 10 years and longer, until anything which is in the basic finding or any finding is actually implemented to clinical field. So that's why Peter, together in the collaboration with Academia Europaea, was asked to come up with a new idea, a new way to think translational medicine. And they came up with this cycle model, as you have seen before. In the cycle model, as you can see, for us, everything starts at healthcare. Healthcare means bedside, where you have your day-to-day questions, where your curiosity arises. Then here together, science, knowledge, together in group meetings, project meetings, we develop the answers, we come up with our solutions, and of course, what's absolutely crucially important is communication. The knowledge should not just be hidden, again, in another publication somewhere in PubMed. It needs to be published, it needs to be communicated in order for patients to benefit from it in the end. So just a few, our center in number, we had the humble start in Page University with 20 students, and we are very proud to be currently at Semmelweis University. As you know, also from next year on, we'll be in Szeged University and Vienna as well. And in Semmelweis so far, we every year had roughly 90 students as the new PhD students. And also about this year, we are aiming around this number, but probably will be in the 3 digits. So also what we are very proud of is that this whole faculty, we are very international. We have 24 different countries, students from 24 different countries here. So one may ask, I said, yes, this whole translational medicine, this new cycle, does speed up. Does it really? And I just brought you today two examples. This is around the team of Andras Horvath and Kata Ilish, which are doing a huge meta-analysis, or did, investigating what is, they investigated a cholesteatoma, a tumor-like growth in the middle ear, and they investigated and asked, what is the best way to not have a reoccurrence? Because reoccurrence in this case is very high. And they came out, and their conclusion was a complete mastoid obliteration is the way to go. Next year, they implemented it in the clinic, and they could see a 13% decrease in cholesteatoma reoccurrence. There's another example, which is a bit earlier than our center was established, but it's also in regards of translational medicine. Maybe you know this one. So, there was one scientist in Vienna University who asked, why is the maternal mortality rate significantly higher in the first obstetric clinic than in the second? Maybe you know who this was. So he also looked at retrospective data, and he came up very clearly with the answer that hand washing is the key, that in the second obstetric clinic, hand washing was performed compared to the first obstetric clinic, and with this, mortality could be reduced. So this was Semmelweis. Generally, about our system of education, we believe in different pillars. So as you have heard, all the classes, groups, and workshops, we have hard skill workshops, which are really about meta-analysis, clinical trial, registries. And then there's also the biostatistics side, which we are very proud of to have very strong, and also today presented by Benze. And further, since this year, it was implemented to have soft skill courses. So as you can see, many, many different soft skill workshops about public speaking, communication, time management, plenty courses, because we also educate you on this, as we believe this makes you a rounder, a more complete scientist and physician in the end. So, in general, what are the requirements for the different years? For the first year, everyone is required or should have at least one submitted paper, and this was very successful. 82% of your year did succeed to have a submission within the first year. After the second year, so for the complex exam, the requirement is to have a submitted, but the goal would be to have an accepted paper already, and also this was achieved. Within the third and fourth year, one should have, at the end of the fourth year, at least 2 accepted papers, 2 published papers, and then you can start writing your thesis and defend your PhD as well. A bit about epidemiology of our center. So as you can see, the ratio is stronger for the female side. In generally, as we can see, 29 to 60 in the second year, and in total of your whole year, you're running 180 different projects. In general, there were total of 18 accepted papers so far, and I need to say again, congratulations. 10 out of these are in D1, so top 10%, and 8 in the top 25%. So within the different years, within the 4 years, there are different phases. Now we are closing phase 5, or phase 6 just started. As you can see, we only had a really small drop from 89 students beginning to currently 84 students, so only 5 students didn't continue within those 2 years. Some information about how today will look like. Every one of you, and we are very much looking forward, will have a 10-minute presentation, and this will be continued then by 20-minute discussion. Of course, the discussion is led by the committee, but again, you are more than welcome and encouraged to also ask questions, to have it a lively and vivid event for every one of us. As you know, it's an innovation, which is already for a few years there, so for you it's maybe not that innovative anymore, but still in general it is. We have a first, second, third questioner card. If you do ask 3 questions, you will be awarded the Excellent Questioner Prize, which is also accompanied by a bottle of wine in the end of today's event. So this is a short summary of our top publications within the last 4 years. As you can see, Nature Medicine, Lancet Regional Health, Gut, Periodontology 2000, so absolutely amazing publications as well. Perfect. And now I would like to show you a short video from the NASE, National Education of Science, National Academy of Science Education.
Science is an indispensable element of progress and the future. Science changes lives when discovery leads to action. The National Academy of Scientist Education makes this happen through 2 programs. The Discovery Science Program, which focuses on nurturing future researchers, and the Translational Science Program, which turns knowledge into real-world applications.
I think the development is fantastic. I mean, when I came first time, it was a program centered in Szeged, you know, with students coming from different parts of Hungary. But meanwhile, the program has developed into 2 branches, you know, and actually one of these branches aims at revolutionizing science education in all of Hungary.
I don't think you can be a good physician today without understanding science, without doing science at some time in your life, asking questions, critical questions, analyzing the literature.
The Translational Medicine Hybrid PhD program, launched in 2016, aims to provide healthcare professionals with the knowledge essential to translate scientific results to their patients' benefits. Since 2019, 50 students, including doctors, dietitians, psychologists, and economists, have defended their PhD theses as part of the program. To date, more than 350 PhD students and 200 mentors from 24 countries have joined the international program. Recently, the program has accelerated significantly with the support of Semmelweis University, the government of Hungary, and Academia Europaea. Healthcare professionals have been able to demonstrably improve the quality of patient care in a short time, which, in addition to its positive social impact, has also resulted in cost-effective patient care.
If they choose to develop career in science, they will have the view of the entire distance between the patient bed and the route to try and cure and help and develop drugs like we do.
Besides the several professional and social events, students of secondary schools and universities, as well as healthcare professionals, can attend the meetings of Nobel laureates and talented students, which are organized by the Academy twice a year. At the conferences, approximately 2,000 guests, pupils, students, mentors, doctors, and other faculty members can listen to scientific presentations of professional quality, participate in educational events, and meet or talk to Nobel Prize-winning scientists and internationally renowned researchers. Since the first meeting in 2012, the Academy has held 24 successful conferences, with the prestigious participation of 18 Nobel laureates hailing from different parts of the world.
First of all, I have a tremendous admiration and inspiration by what is done here to this program. This program is unique around the world. It's very special. It's not only going to improve Hungary, it's going to improve not only Central Europe, it's going to be a motor for progress, innovation, and a better world around the world.
The capital that you are building through this program, human capital, social capital, and potential economic capital, this is a great investment, and I really think that every country should have programs like this, and I think that you should invest as much as you can afford it.
Peter Higi convinced me that it's a good idea to train young people of the area of Szeged, and knowing Peter Higi, I know that he's a very hard worker, very enthusiastic, and I just got infected by his enthusiasm. All I can say is I'm very impressed, and I hope it continues like this.
So, what is left for me to say is, of course, thank you very much all for your attention. And there's one more important thing I would like to introduce to you, our committee. First of all, we are very honored to have our international guest, the Dean of Dentistry from the National University of Singapore, Professor Chris Peck. Let us heartily welcome him. Further, of course, we're also very honored to have our Dean here, the Dean of Dentistry from Semmelweis University, Professor Gabor Gerber. Further, it's an absolute pleasure for us to have Ennike Sabo here with us from the Department of Restorative Dentistry. Thank you very much for coming to our session. Last but not least, of course, as we all know, it's crucially important, the statistics behind everything. Bence Sabo, thank you very much for being here. So again, thank you very much for your attention. With this, I would like to hand over the word to our committee. And then I think after this, the stage is all yours. Thank you very much.